My name is Damien Conroy. I'm a senior software engineer with ConsenSys. I'm based in Dublin, Ireland. Yeah, curiosity is a good place to start. There are a range of skills applicable in the blockchain ecosystem. And surprisingly, I guess for most people, the nuts and bolts of the technology quite often is not necessarily the most taxing part. Mapping real-world processes and understanding how things work in the real world and being able to bring those to bear with the technology, with the blockchain technology, is by far, I guess, the most difficult task. That's one of understanding, and that's one of curiosity, as you say. For those who have a more technical inclination, certainly the point of entry is the technology. Pick up the tools, play with the tools, learn how to use them. But at the same time, the vast majority of folks working in the area will be far more concerned with business processes and how to implement them, and not necessarily the nuts and bolts of how they are implemented. It's important to realize, and it's pretty apparent from the original paper by Satoshi Nakamoto, that transparency, honesty, and I guess equality are key facets of what that core approach to developing Bitcoin as it was, that the importance of those principles, it comes out clearly in the paper. To be fair, on the regulatory front, regulators are there to protect. They're there to protect their citizens. They're there to ensure that they're not being sold anything that isn't what it seems. And it's inevitable and unfortunate that somewhere in between, some malicious actors will emerge. And we must be careful not to assume that everybody in that space is malicious. In fact, ultimately, it's going to be a very small number. But I think it's important that those of us who understand the key principles of crypto as it emerged in the Nakamoto paper don't butt heads with regulation, and appreciate that in the vast majority of cases, we're all on the same side here. We want to do the right thing with the right technology. And just because the regulators, I guess, have to do their job and keep some bad actors out of the area, doesn't necessarily mean that they're opposed to everything crypto-based. And similarly, because we want to promote crypto, sometimes we can get a little evangelical about it. And we have to understand as well that a lot of regulation is there for our own good. So it's getting that balance, because ultimately the malicious actors that live in between are very small in number and they won't last. I guess the most noticeable thing recently is serious interest in commercial projects. Real world commercial projects that we will implement in partnership with clients. It's gone beyond, I guess, the year of the POC, and we'll continue to build on that. I guess, like any area of technology, it's always difficult to go out there and win people over and build your team. But the focus right now is on growing that engineering capability and delivering to this very real interest in real-world applications. From a software engineer's perspective, I guess what you'll find quite often is that folks have ideas that they maybe don't appreciate are, in existence already. So the novelty is a factor. That said, execution is the name of the game. So you can have all the ideas in the world, but the capability, the execution capability is a key factor. And it depends then, for somebody like me who would assess it at a very nuts and bolts technical level in a very informal way, that's the sort of thing that's going through my head. The business decisions then are very different decisions, and I guess, beyond what I do. Interesting question. Look for the value. Understand the value. It's very easy to be swept along, even if you're very, very capable. It's very easy to be swept along without anyone asking the difficult questions. I know that's maybe less so now than it might have been 12 months ago, but ultimately, if you lose focus on the value, sooner or later, questions will arise as to the viability of what it is you're doing, and if you're not confident in yourself to answer those when they come along, it really doesn't matter how good you've been on executing technically, the business won't be viable.